Okay, now.
Estamos en Milán, en el Congreso de la EBMT con Mohamad Mohty, presidente electo de esta sociedad, sobre el tema de trasplantes. Básicamente hoy se ha presentado el defitelio como un producto de Jazz Pharmaceuticals y Gentium para las enfermedades severohepáticas vena exclusiva. ¿Cómo podríamos definir defitelio?
Okay, there.
Well, defitelio, defibrotide, is a drug that is used to treat veno-occlusive disease. Veno-occlusive disease is a complication that usually occurs after stem cell transplantation, whether autologous or allogenic, both in adults and in children.
Ha sido aprobado en Alemania y en Austria. Próximamente en España.
Yes, so the drug has been approved by the European Medicine Agency, and it has been, as far as I know, launched very recently in Germany and in the Netherlands. I think the launch will occur soon in most of the European countries. I don't know exactly for Spain. However, one should know that this drug is rather already widely used because it has been used. And I know there is a very good experience in Spain with this drug because it has been used as part of the compassionate use program before approval.
La severe hepatic vena occlusive disease is fatal for a big number of patients. ¿Por qué? Los motivos.
Why?
Okay, so veno-occlusive disease is indeed a very complex complication that occurs after transplant. We don't know exactly the pathophysiology of this complication. We have some data about the involvement of, for example, endothelial cells, and when you look to VOD, you may see different levels of severity. It can be mild, moderate, and severe. And indeed, it is the severe VOD cases where the mortality is very high, and in some series, this can be more than 80%. Obviously, there are risk factors for VOD because this will depend on the type of chemotherapy that you use for conditioning. It can depend also on the type of the disease, and some of the diseases, especially in babies and children, genetic disorder, inherited disorder. In terms of transplant, the risk for developing severe VOD is extremely important.
President of EBMT, many advances in the last year sobre trasplantes. ¿Qué gran avance principal ha habido en los últimos años?
Okay, so the transplant field is moving very rapidly. Obviously, we have just spoken about the approval of defibrotide, and this is very good news because we don't have a lot of drugs approved in the field of stem cell transplantation. But I appreciate your question about the other advances, and the field of stem cell transplantation is moving very quickly. I think for the moment, for example, the use of haplo-mismatched transplant is something that is rapidly growing because that allows to find a donor for almost every patient, so that allows to make a transplant available to all the patients who are in need of transplantation. Also, we have a lot of other advances in the field of stem cell transplantation, and this is mainly related to the introduction of novel treatment approaches, for example, the biclonal antibodies, but also the use of modified, T cells, like the CAR cells. So it's really a fascinating era of what we would call immune therapy, which is the use of the immune system tools to fight against these bad diseases and cancers.
So, your opinion, the people today is convinced for donation?
For donation. People are getting more convinced they have to donate?
Well, the issue of donation of bone marrow is a complicated issue because the situation can be different from one place to another. It has also to do with the culture, it has to do with awareness, and so on. So it's very difficult to draw conclusions. Nevertheless, we know that it is growing. I think more and more people are aware of the importance of donating bone marrows. More and more awareness is available about the fact that stem cell transplantation is a life-saving treatment. So I am very positive about the improvement in this field.
Thank you, Mr. Mohty, avec success for la organisation.
Thank you very much. And